Clearly, it indicates that Iran could care less. They perceive that we are weak in leadership. That is not a political statement. It is a statement of fact. And when they perceive that we are weak and that there will be no repercussions, as you have also heard me say many times, this is what happens. They will run unabated in attacks in the Middle East, and now they have reached out and have attempted to attack the Saudis and our friends, the Israelis.
That an Iranian assassination attempt was going to involve the Mexican drug cartels that President Obama has been helping to arm through the Justice Department fast and furious gun running scheme. It really is incredible.
All right. What do we do?
Well, number one, I don't know why anybody is surprised to see this. The government of Iran has been a state sponsor of terrorism for decades. It's the leading financer of terrorism around the world. It's engaged in assassination for decades as a matter of policy. And its conflict with Saudi Arabia is well known. What is startling and what ought to be a red flag to everybody who thinks it's possible to negotiate with the government of Iran is they plan to carry out this assassination on American soil. So I think the first thing that needs to happen is a complete reality check for everybody in the administration and in Congress who still thought there was any chance to negotiate with Iran over its nuclear weapons program. It's not going to happen.
What caught my attention this evening was a report on our network that the Pentagon has indicated that there is no planning to respond by force. Now, whether that's a good idea or bad idea, I was a little bit touched by the idea, like, why are we telling Iran they're safe? Okay, you know that there's no, don't sweat anything. You're not worried. Much like we told Gaddafi that we're not going to put boots on the ground. I mean, why are we tipping our hand?
Well, I think that's what the Iranians already believe. They think that our response, if this was uncovered, was likely to be so weak that they were prepared to take the risk of killing foreign diplomats on American soil. And that statement by whomever it was, that anonymous Pentagon official, just confirms in their mind that they were going to get a weak response. I think this highlights the conflict in the Middle East between Sunni, Arab, Saudi Arabia, Persian, Shia, Iran. It's been breaking out in a variety of places. Syria is one example. Bahrain is another. All of which is exacerbated by Iran's continuing progress towards nuclear weapons. If we don't pay attention to this, we're going to find a conflict in which our interests are deeply involved, which we have allowed to happen because we have sleepwalked past the graveyard we're creating by allowing Iran to get nuclear weapons.
The fact that they felt they could plan an assassination attempt in the United States is a sign of how much contempt they have for the Obama administration. So I think strategically, beyond any one incident, we ought to have a policy much as Reagan had with the Soviet Union.
I would have done something earlier such that it probably would have encouraged them not to do something like this, Greta, and that is one of the great capabilities that we have is our ballistic missile defense system that could be upgraded, and we could place these Aegis ballistic missile defense systems in international water in that part of the world. The only thing that Iran understands is our military capability, but unfortunately, they believe that they could do something like they did today, and that this nation is not going to react, because they see this president as a weak president. They would not see me as a weak president, and I would send some strong signals to let them know that we would be prepared to take whatever actions we needed to take.
All right. Under your theory, you headed off at the pass so that they wouldn't do that. But assume under my hypothetical, which actually the situation today